back to Life Group. I just wanted to make mention that we've only got 4 more Sundays until Easter. So you might want to think about inviting those people that you've been praying for to come to Venue Church on Easter Sunday. I'm really excited about it. Also, you might want to start bringing also this Sunday, the Sunday after that, and probably the Sunday after that, filled Easter eggs filled with candy. Or you can just bring some eggs so we can fill them, or you can just bring some candy. But we're going to have an Easter egg hunt for the kids, and we want to try and do as much as we can this year. Lastly, also we have a baby dedication on Mother's Day. So if you've not had your child dedicated and you want to have your baby dedicated, tell your life group leader or us on Sunday and we will sign you up. So I'm really excited about that. And without any further ado, let's get right into the trailer. Okay, so this past week's message was called Great Sex. If you missed it, you can find it at www.venuechurchonline.com. And honestly, it was one of those messages that's just a little bit uncomfortable to talk about. But here's the issue. Culture has been defining this for the last century. And we really believe that God wants to redefine sex in our culture for who we are today. And I believe it's incredibly relevant. And here's the thing. Even though it's incredibly relevant and very, very important, for the sake of Life Group, I'm actually going to change the title because I think it'd be kind of awkward to sit around and talk about sex for the next hour. So we're going to call it Great Relationships. And so you can just kind of go like this. I'm so glad we changed the title. And here's kind of the goal. We've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks and kind of delved into Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verses 1 through 3. And this is the goal. She talks about him being a good lover. And it's not just a lover in the physical sense, it's a good lover of people. And that's ultimately the goal in our relationships, that people would say that about us, that we are good lovers of people, that they might look at us and say, I wish I could be the kind of husband he is, the kind of wife that she is, or the kind of father or mother that he or she is. I wish I could be the kind of lover of people that they are. And so we talked about, the very first thing that we talked about, great relationships are affirming. You're never going to hurt somebody's feelings by saying something nice to them. As a matter of fact, Solomon, out of the 15 verses in this chapter, and mind you, they're in the wedding chamber. They're in the honeymoon night. 10 of the 15 verses are him affirming her. He hasn't even touched her yet. He's just telling her how beautiful she is. And he talks about her character and what she means to him. So he just affirms her over and over and over again. So here's the first question of the night. Why is affirming those around us so important? The next thing that we talked about this past Sunday was that our relationships, great relationships, are tender. And we're not gonna form the question around this one, but I do want to say that we said this, that in our relationships, we don't need to be so harsh or abrasive or, quite frankly, so selfish. We also said this: the best thing you could do in any relationship is to throw down your own agenda and serve the person according to their love language. And if you're not familiar with what love languages are, you can actually go to the number 5, lovelanguages.com. There's some tests there, some things that you can do. The next thing we talked about, great relationships are passionate. Now, passion doesn't just normally form and stay there. It's much like a fire in a fireplace. I remember we first moved here from Austin, Texas, and we had our first real winter up here, and I got to experience what that was like all over again. And I remember that you built the fire, and it was great to watch. I mean, it was amazing because the fire would crackle and it was warm and it would spark up, and just the way the colors against the wood, it was incredibly amazing. But if you just let it go, the fire would eventually go out. And so I'd have to go outside and get more wood and brush the snow or the ice off of it, bring it in the house and put it and stoke the fire to make sure the flames go higher and higher. And it's like that with our relationships. If we want the passion in our relationships to keep on going in a positive direction, we've got to continuously fuel those relationships, continuously stoke that fire. And I'm not just, in this context, I'm not necessarily just talking about relationships or passion in the way of a physical relationship. I'm talking about passion, relational passion, which means that we're just passionate about the relationships that we have, about stoking that fire, about having them continue on and not letting them just die away. And so here's the next question. Actually, it's not just one question. You can answer one or the other. I'm going to give you two questions for this one. Answer one or the other. Here they are. Number one, what can we intentionally do to fuel and stoke the fire in our relationships? And then the other one is this: why are relationships viewed by so many as disposable? The last thing we talked about on Sunday was that great relationships are secure. They're safe. And that doesn't mean it's not for everybody that's in your life. You're not always going to feel safe and secure with every person that walks into your life. That's really a huge step. And the great relationships that we have, it's impossible to have a great relationship without having that safety and that security. But it is a step that we've got to take. And we can't take that with everybody that's in our lives. One of the easiest ways to be able to know whether we can take that step with somebody is the first to evaluate ourselves and ask the question, am I safe? Am I secure? Dr. Henry Cloud wrote this book called Safe People. If you haven't read it, it's a fantastic book. You should get it. But it talks about people and how some people are just not safe and what to do when you run into those people. And actually, it helps uncover issues in your own life. Are you a safe person? Are you secure? And quite frankly, if you're not safe or you're not secure, if you've got a lot of insecurities and you've got a lot of rejection issues inside of your own life and you don't know how to deal with them, it's going to make it really difficult for you to enter into any relationships that are safe and secure because you yourself have to first deal with some issues. So here's the last question for tonight. What are some things that you can do to make sure you are more safe and secure for those that are in your life?